One of my favorite things about spring training every single year is seeing guys who are going to be playing new positions. And this spring training in particular, it feels like bigger name players are making position changes that could really impact their season as well as their teams. So in today's video, I'm going to go over the 10 biggest position changes for the 2025 MLB season that we've seen thus far and give you my thoughts and opinion on what's going on with them. So don't forget to drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this baseball content, get in the comment section down below, let me know which position change do you think is the weirdest this season, and follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links are in the description. First up, we've got Jorge Polanco of the Seattle Mariners making the change. He's normally been a middle infield guy playing shortstop and second base for the majority of his career. He's now going to be playing third base, it seems, for the Seattle Mariners, according to Fangraphs. He's only played 24 games at third base in his entire career. He played 15 of them back in 2013. Otherwise, the last time he had played third base was all the way in 2016. So a total of 180 innings at the position. Yeah, this is a new position for a guy like Jorge Polanco. So I'm a bit surprised because the Mariners have some guys that can play third, but apparently they want to try him out at that position, not at second base this year. He struggled offensively, so it's interesting to move his position defensively when he didn't have a good year. I mean, it was the worst offensive season of his career since 2017. I do seriously wonder if this will pay off, if the move will help Jorge Polanco or the Mariners at all. But as of right now, it does seem like third base is going to be the home for Jorge, and it's a fairly new position for him. Next up, we've got Wilson Contreras of the St. Louis Cardinals, who, again, for the majority of his career, has been a catcher. Of the 826 games he's played in his career, 774 of them have come at the catcher position. In fact, first base, he's only played 11 games in his career at the position, a total of 51 innings. It's not even the second most played position of his entire career. He's played more left field, funny enough. The last time Wilson Contreras played first base was 2 games back in 2019, so it has been a pretty long time. But for a very athletic player like Wilson Contreras, I really don't think it's going to be a problem. Plus, the bat is so good, you want it in the lineup every single day. You saw last year he was able to hit 15 homers and have an 848 OPS in just 84 games. Put him at the first base position, a lot less wear and tear. I think the offensive numbers could go even higher. Defensively is probably going to be a little bit shaky to start there, but after a while, I definitely could see Wilson Contreras being a very suitable first baseman for the Cardinals. They've got him for like the next 3 years, so they got to figure it out sooner than later. And it does help them to have him there so they can bring Ivan Herrera to the catcher position. For the third player changing positions this season, we've got Jonathan India, recently traded to the Kansas City Royals this offseason, had been a second baseman for the entirety of his career as a Cincinnati Red. He's now going to be making the move to what it seems like being left field. So far in spring training, he's played left field. They need to find a spot for him in this lineup because a guy like Michael Massey's pretty decent at second base, and India's bat could really help out this team, especially when their outfield is so weak. It is by far the weakest position depth-wise in that entire organization. They need some work there. And a guy like Jonathan India who can bring 15 homers, 30 doubles, pretty good OPS around 750 every single year, the Royals need to find a way to get him into that lineup. Now, like I said, at the major league level, Jonathan India has not played left field at all. He's only played the second base position. If we look at his minor league and college stats, he's legitimately never played a position outside of the infield. 500 games at second, 345 at third, 27 at shortstop. So watching him play the outfield is going to be super interesting, something to keep an eye out on in spring training and see if he can make that adjustment. This might sound crazy, but Mike Trout has basically never played right field in his major league career. Trout's played 1,500 games at the major league level, and he has played a total of 121 innings in right field, just 17 games, 13 starts. And this year, of course, we got news right before spring training started that Mike Trout was going to be moving from center field to right field in order to help him with the injury management and load management, which makes a lot of sense. A guy like Mike Trout, who's just been injury prone for the last 5 seasons, the wear and tear that he would get in center field just will not be the same as he gets in right field. A lot less action, not as important of a position defensively as center field is, probably a lot less crashing into the wall, and honestly, a lot less ground to cover too, which is a big part for Mike Trout, because sometimes these injuries have been muscular, and keeping him loose, keeping him on the field should be the Angels' #1 priority. Truthfully, he should have been the DH this season, but I think moving him from center to right is a good decision, and I'm glad to see that Mike Trout and the Angels had come to that agreement, because I want to see this guy healthy for a full year. It's been so long. When he's healthy, he's the best player, arguably, in baseball. For the 5th player in today's video, keeping it in the American League West, we have a major position change possibly for Houston Astros former second baseman Jose Altuve. I mean, there's a chance he still does play second base this year, but with how beleaguered their outfield is in Houston, Altuve is considering helping out the team by playing left field. Jose Altuve in his career has played 1,767 games. 1,765 of those have come at second base. 2 of them have come at shortstop. So yeah, the outfield is a very new position, and one really interesting thing about Jose Altuve is his height. You almost never see a corner outfielder, specifically left fielder, listed at 5'6". There are basically no players in the history of baseball that have been that height and played left field at a consistent basis. And even going into the minor leagues and seeing where Jose Altuve was playing defensively, he's never had an inning in the outfield. He's played a little bit of third, of course played a little bit of short, but he is primarily a second baseman. I respect that he's considering moving to left field to help this team out again, because their outfield is so bad. But it's going to be really interesting to see how he adjusts. Crawford boxes should help, though. Not a far throw, not a lot of ground to cover. Similarly, this offseason, we heard that Mookie Betts will be the shortstop for the Los Angeles Dodgers every single day in the 2025 season. Now, we saw Mookie Betts play 65 games at shortstop in 2024, 16 in 2023, and he technically did come up as a shortstop when the Red Sox initially drafted him. But at the major league level, the majority of Mookie Betts' play has been in the outfield, with a little bit of second base the last few years as well. I'm still going to consider this a position change, a new position going into the season, because Mookie Betts really still at the end of the day is an outfielder, and that's where he's best suited. But you gotta respect what the Dodgers and Mookie Betts are doing over there. They have a lot of talent in the outfield. They need to get that shortstop position filled, and Mookie Betts is willing to make that move right in the middle of his career as one of the best players in baseball. Overall, in his entire professional baseball career, Mookie Betts has only played 96 games at the shortstop position. He's looked good thus far, but I still think right field's obviously going to be where he's most valuable. Former Houston Astro, current Boston Red Sox Alex Bregman is going to be changing positions, it seems like, because Rafael Devers is not willing to move off of third base, even though it helps the Red Sox so much and is way better for the team. So that means Alex Bregman looks like he's going to be playing second base every day for the 2025 season as of right now. And this is something that Bregman talked about in the offseason. To make himself more attractive, to make himself more desirable, he said he was willing to move positions, and second base was one of them. At the major league level, Alex Bregman's played 9 games for a total of 32 innings at the position, has not committed an error, but again, the majority of his games have been played at third base, and even just under 1,000 innings at the shortstop position. The last time Alex Bregman got major league playing time at second base was for 11 innings in the 2018 season, but I really do think he'll be able to cut it. I mean, he's a great fielder at third base. He won a Gold Glove last year. He's a really good athlete. He was a shortstop in college for LSU, so he's more than capable to play the middle infield position. It's just been a while. He's obviously best suited at third base, and the Red Sox definitely want him to play there. Hopefully Devers switches his opinion, moves to first base or even the DH spot so that Bregman could go to his rightful home at third. Until then, he's a second baseman. For this next player, we saw this move a little bit last year, but now he is going to be the everyday center fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That is O'Neal Cruz. And truthfully, I love this decision to put O'Neal Cruz in center field. The dude runs like a gazelle, he has a cannon of an arm, and at the shortstop position, he's committed a ton of errors in just 2 seasons essentially at the position. In 202 games, he's committed 42 errors at the shortstop position. That feels like a lot. I don't necessarily think he's a bad fielder, but he sometimes makes easy plays look a little more difficult than they should. And when you have a guy like O'Neal Cruz, who's such a gifted and talented athlete with legitimately one of the best arms that we have in Major League Baseball, putting him in center field just makes a lot of sense. And albeit while it was a small sample size last year, in 23 games, O'Neal Cruz looked pretty decent out there. So now with a full spring training behind him, a full offseason knowing that you're going to be the center fielder, I'm really interested to see if O'Neal Cruz can turn into one of the better center fielders in the game, because he has something that a lot of these guys don't have, which is the speed, arm, and sheer size, which is a huge advantage. For the one and only pitcher in today's video, got to talk about my team, the New York Mets, and Clay Holmes, who's making the change from being a former reliever slash closer to a starting pitcher. Now, like all relievers, Clay Holmes at one point was a starting pitcher in his career down in the minors with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he even made some starts for the Pirates in the first couple seasons he was there. But of course, a reliever is just typically a failed starter, and that's where he ultimately made his home. But the Mets signed him this offseason to a 3-year deal, paying him about $13 million a season, and they wanted to be a starting pitcher. He actually made his spring training debut in the first game of the year for the Mets, threw 3 innings and looked really good. One of the big things that you need when you're a starting pitcher is more pitches, and right now Clay Holmes has added a cutter along with a kick change to go with the turbo sinker and a great slider. In the small sample that I've seen thus far in one spring training game for the Mets, I'm super excited to see what Clay Holmes can do. I think he has what it takes to become a successful starting pitcher at the major league level. I trust Jeremy Hefner in the Mets pitching development. The biggest thing for Clay Holmes and the biggest adjustment he's going to have to make is just being able to throw 70, 80, 90, 100 pitches in a game as opposed to 20 at a time. And then for the last and final position change that we know of so far going into the 2025 season, that's going to be Colt Keith of the Detroit Tigers moving from second base to first base. Truthfully, this one surprised me. I know Spencer Torkelson has been a disappointment, but I'm really shocked that the Tigers were so aggressive to move Colt Keith from second base to first base. I thought maybe third base would have been the spot for him, but it looks like Colt Keith is going to be the first baseman on opening day for Detroit as of right now. They added Gleyber Torres, who's going to be playing second base, so that spot got filled by a better player currently at the time. I understand wanting to keep Colt Keith in the lineup. I just didn't think it would come at the cost of a guy like Spencer Torkelson. Now for Colt Keith, last year at the major league level, he only played second base. He's never even played a single inning of first base, not even in high school. Second base, third base, that's where Colt Keith had ultimately ended up throughout his entire career. Not even in the minors, he never played first base. So this is a brand new position. He's super young, 23 years old. He's a really talented player. He's a good athlete. I think he's going to be able to adjust to the position, and he's not a small guy either. 6'2", 211, so he's got good enough size to be there. The biggest surprise for me, again, is just that they're giving up on Spencer Torkelson somewhat prematurely when they could have just put Colt Keith at third base, a position he's already played, and I think you could still have the best of both worlds. And if Torkelson stinks again, now you can make the decision. I don't know. It just feels a little weird to me. You guys can let me know what you think down in the comment section. So there they are, the position changes for the 2025 season. I'm still shocked with the Colt Keith one. I know I just talked about it, but it doesn't make sense to me. Jose Altuve moving to left field, that's not something that was on my bingo card going into the year. I'd love to know what you guys think about these position changes down in the comment section below. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. It really does help support what I do over here, as well as clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the content. You click that sub button, my videos just appear on your homepage for free. It's amazing. You can follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links are in the description, and that's where I'll wrap it up. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Bye!